You might want to close those windows. Your audio is like breaking up a little bit.
My windows. I don't have my windows open.
No, like those. If you had those tabs open and they're still like buffering or whatever, you might want to close them. I don't know.
Buffering. They should be gone.
I don't know. You were just breaking. Your audio was just breaking up. Maybe it's me. I don't know.
It's your fault.
You're good now. Well, we can edit it, so do it live.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Thing sucks. Well, I have a video where I did that. Haven't published that yet.
We should mention that Kojima also announced he's making an espionage game. They didn't show anything for it, but
big deal.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, oh yeah, they're still making Metal Gear. Oh no, I'm going to make my own thing now.
Well, it's funny because if you think about just the vibe that he gave, he's got it. He's in the best position he can be in because he can build exclusives for whoever he wants. He's not restricted to anybody because he's doing the Microsoft one too. So
that's what I was going to say, but he's spreading himself too thin because he could barely focus on Metal Gear back in the day. And now they're making 3 different games at the studio. At least 3 different games.
At least 3, yeah. And then he's still doing other stuff too, I think, because I think he's trying to make everything kind of like motion picture like, you know.
Right. That espionage thing is going to be both video game and movie, or like tying all this shit. He's making he wants to be like Quantum Break, right? You know, make it like a TV show or a movie. I don't know.
That didn't do so well.
With Jordan Peele on a horror game, like.
I mean, it's cool. It's very ambitious. I'm all about ambitious, but like you said, it's a very valid point of you're one person.
Yeah.
How many people are you going to trust to do a lot of that work for you?
Right.
You know, other than planting the seed, but we're also probably 4 years out from at least 1 or 2 of those games.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not hopeful that. Let's talk briefly Suicide Squad. Do you think it's dead on arrival based on what you've seen, what you've heard, and your own thoughts? I know you're probably not going to pick it up right away, if at all. But
I'd like to play it. I would like to play it. I don't think anything this past week during early access has done it any favors. So that makes me think, I mean, dead on arrival is really harsh, but it probably is. I mean, $70 for a game like this. Watched some of Kinda Funny playing it, and like, it does look like it's going to get repetitive and boring really quickly. It doesn't look like it does a service to any of the characters that we've fallen in love with without doing any spoilers. You know, it's Rocksteady, and I don't know how we got to this, but this was like the reason why it got delayed originally. Everyone was like, "Why is there so much shooting?" It's not what we play a Rocksteady for, a Division style experience. Like, it's not what we play it for. So, you know, you thought maybe they went back a little bit and could tweak something, and not in the amount of time that they had to cancel it, you know, like to delay it. But I think I think it's going to fall like a rock. And like Gotham Knights didn't do well, and you played as the heroes, and you played more like the Arkham style. So unless this is a game that people are really fiending for, which I don't see, doesn't seem like it is, and it's $70.
Right, but that's a tough sell.
Yeah, really, and you have to be connected to the internet. If it was a solo experience, similar to like maybe Guardians of the Galaxy, where the other team members are like, you could just call them into combat to do certain things, or maybe you switched like Ultimate Alliance, it would be better, I think. But I still don't care for all the shooting. Like, if I'm Killer Shark, why am I relying on a gun? Deadshot? Okay, that's your gimmick. The gun is your gimmick. But like, if I'm Killer Shark, I just want to be wailing on guys, eating them, and like.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. It's true. I mean, my big thing with it is just from playing the alpha that I played. It's repetitive.
Oh yeah,
you know? and I kept telling you that it was just like Avengers all over again, in the sense of like it's the same villains that you're fighting over and over.
I think it might be worse. It might be worse with repetitive of villains. At least like you would fly somewhere as Tony Stark, like not in the armor. Like you're in the desert looking for Banner or something. Like they do a little mission variety, and you know, and the characters play differently. Not everyone had a gun, right? So you're Thor, you can throw the hammer. You know, not everyone. The Hulk obviously has no guns, no projectiles. That's like,
Yeah,
like
he's
in
not
this
walking around with a machine gun just to fit
Right.
the game's.
Captain Boomerang's
Yeah.
using a gun, and he's going to use the same gun that you could use with Killer Shark. Okay.
Right. Yeah. It's weird because I want to respect the game and understand there was a vision behind it. You know what I mean? And the vision was, what if we let the villains win? But like you said, it's Rocksteady. It's a company that has made great success
Great success.
with a certain core type of game that they haven't been delivering as of late. And you're just kind of changing the mold, knowing where your fan base kind of resided.
Knowing your audience, right?
Yeah.
It's like a Call of Duty, like Activision's like, we're going to have Infinity Ward make a new Call of Duty. They're making it. It's not called Call of Duty. It's in the Call of Duty universe. They're going to come out. We get the first trailer, and it's like a 2D like a Metroidvania game. That's like basically what. And then people will be like, "Wait, you said you were making something in the Call of Duty universe? Oh yeah, this guy, and they're in there. It's just a different game. We want to do something different."
Right.
But your developer makes first-person shooters some of the best that we've had, and this is what you're making. Oh, okay.
And I always wondered, it's a game that I never got to finish playing to this day. Like the whole thing with Batman Origins, you haven't seen that again. Like you've had all these kind of remasters in a sense, or like re-releases.
Yeah.
That's
It's
nowhere to be found.
It's
Yeah, and the portable game too, though. The portable game. What about the portable game? That was like
Black,
Metroidvania.
Blackgate.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could. That's on the Steam Deck. You can play it on the Steam Deck. I really enjoyed that game. I like Origins also. Origins is really.
I mean, I liked what I liked what I
mean,
played.
it's pretty close.
Right. I just got to a battle that I just felt like wasn't ending, so I just gave up. Like,
Yeah.
it was one of those, I think it was
multi-stage fights with like Bane, I think there is, and stuff like that.
No, it was what's his name? It was Deathstroke.
Oh, that was where a lot of people quit on, because there's a lot of. I mean, now it's like the accepted thing. There's a lot of parrying and stuff like that in that fight.
No thanks.
They were ahead of the curve.
Well, I was also playing it on the streaming version of the PS5. So you're playing the stream PS3 version? No thanks. I'm good.
Another ad for the Steam Deck. You can play that on the Steam Deck also. You can play all of the Arkham games on the Steam Deck.
You can help me convert my photons and my Captain Marvels to get that working properly.
Only if Beast is there.
Yes. The man. That's another show. Another show.
I was going to say something else about the Arkham, and now I've lost my thoughts. I don't know. I don't know what I was going to say.
Well, Gotham Knights. Would you say?
Yes, that was it. Actually, that was what I was going to say.
Look at
I
that.
actually you. I have to travel for work shortly, so I'm thinking that's what I'm going to go back to. I'm going to bring my Steam Deck. I'm going to be out of town for a week at a time for a couple months, and I think I want to play through it and give it a second go and report back with my analysis.
Maybe I'll do the same. I mean, I have it too. I tried it. I don't know. I felt like it was forcing me to do things I didn't want to do. At least maybe because it's early on in the game. But the traversing is kind of weird. Without you're so used to doing certain things with Batman. Yeah. So again,
Batgirl has it. So you just need to be like certain characters. Yeah, and they don't force you to switch, so you could just play as Batgirl the whole game and kind of sort of do the Batman things.
Right, but I mean, we know who I like, and he doesn't play like that. So unfortunately,
well, and I didn't play very far into it, but like it feels like if you had a mending of Suicide Squad and Gotham Knights, you probably could make a great game if you took elements from both of them and combined the good with the bad. Like gameplay from Gotham Knights, maybe the city from Suicide Squad with the Riddler stuff and the Justice League, and you would probably have a better game.
So the last thing I'll say for Suicide Squad, do you feel that a lot of people are bitter more because of the gameplay that we've seen and reviewed, people that reviewed it, or do you think it's because of the concept of the game, which is the Suicide Squad kills the Justice League, and the obvious thought is, are they going to kill off the heroes? Like, do you think that's going to make people angry because there's love for the characters? And it's like, I don't want to see a character like a villain kill Superman or whoever. Like, do you think that is deterring people from even wanting to play it?
No,
You know what I mean? No.
I have the definitive answer for that.
So you
One,
feel like if the gameplay was improved upon, people would
yes,
subside and be okay with that.
yes.
Okay.
I'll give you
No,
one.
it's-
I'll give you one word answer. You'll know right away.
Okay.
Injustice.
Good point.
Right.
Good point.
The story mode is incredible in that game.
Yeah.
Superman's the bad guy.
Yeah.
NetherRealm.
Yeah. I'll say I'll even throw one in there for older fans of DC Universe. Even though, as a core of the game like became MMO-ish, for anybody that remembers that trailer, that intro was kind of the pre-Injustice. You had this, you had the Elseworlds in a sense, and you had all this evil stuff happening, really awesome.
Yeah, I think
that makes sense.
It's gameplay. It's shoehorning a lot of things. Saying it's in the same universe as Batman is mistake. As Arkham is mistake number one, because then your fans expect an Arkham experience, and that's not what they're getting.
Right. Fair enough. So, I guess we'll see in the future if we end up playing it. Maybe Paul and I'll discuss that on a show and give our tidbits on it. I hope, for the sake of the developers and anybody involved, that the game does well enough. We don't want to see anybody losing their jobs, but I feel like even if it does well, that's gonna still be a potential. So again,
sub $20.
Game Pass it. I mean, you Game Pass Arkham, but I mean nobody's playing that either. So just saying.
They did the same thing with Avengers, right?
Right. Well, hey, let's give you all the paid DLC. How many people downloaded it? Nobody. I went back to Ultimate Alliance 3 on the Switch instead. Have better experience.
Which is a great game also. I think it's a great
Still haven't beaten it.
Oh, it's a great
why
game.
Does the game take so? It feels like it's
and if it
long.
wasn't published by Nintendo, we probably would have got a nice remaster of it. But it's published by Nintendo.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll get one for the Switch too.
Oh, with my little big planet screen.
Allegedly 8-inch screen.
Oh my god, LED too, right?
Yeah. LCD screen.
LCD, even better.
Yeah.
LGN. That's when we bring these screens out, right?
Yes. That should be the next one.
That's the one you bought me.
Right, I wanted to throw in there. I threw it in on the chat that today they dropped some speculation that Sony is going to make a new handheld, and not a PlayStation Portal, an actual PlayStation Portable.
Yeah,
which is apparently very powerful. PS4, potentially PS5 kind of graphics. How do you feel about that?
I mean, you know me, I'll be a sucker for it. And somebody we know, Stan, sent me a message about it. He's like, "Oh, the PlayStation Portal people are going to be upset." I'm not going to be upset. I have both then. It's not. The PlayStation Portable collects dust as expected. I don't need it right now, but yes, I'd love another handheld if it's done right.
That's the big thing, right? I don't know. You guys usually talk rumors and stuff like that on here. But
we try not to, but if it's like not story stuff,
I weigh it like I don't know either way. Like the way the Vita came out, really bad. The way the PSP was, really good. So you got both sides of it. I'm not sure. I don't think it'll be PlayStation 5 graphics. It's almost impossible. It would be.
I think they might be able to play them in a low res, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like think about the Xbox S and the X. I mean, the problem is the games aren't developed for that.
Right. Sony hasn't done something like that. That's what my next thing was going to be. Microsoft, I know the stuff leaked a while ago. We don't need to get into any of that, whether that's real, canceled, whatever. But there was a handheld on there. And I've been saying it.
We did a show about that.
I've been saying since the 360 that there's no reason why they shouldn't have a handheld. And back when the 360 was out, I was saying, make the handheld that's just like Xbox Live games. Now, the Xbox S is so small, you could easily put that in a handheld. And like you said, Game Pass, ability to download your existing games, even if you do backwards compatible. Yeah, I mean, it seems like a no-brainer.
People eat it up.
Yeah.
I mean, you have all these handhelds too, which is again, it's another conversation. But you have the Steam Deck, and then you have all the competitors, the ROG, Ally, the Razer. So people are getting in that PC mindset. Just make it console specific. Like
Right.
I don't get it. There's a market for it, and I don't know why they don't see that. But they don't listen to us. We don't get paid the big bucks to make those decisions.
Do you think the Switch 2 or Switch Super Switch or Super Pro, Switch Pro, you think it still has the cartridge slot? You think it has backwards compatibility?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it has to, right?
Yeah. It would be very, very reckless to not do that because of how successful the Switch is, especially if you're going to mimic the hardware and have a portable,
Right.
component to it and not go back to console.
Right.
So I feel like they might stick with the hardware. The hardware has been protected for a long time until recently, which is, people are still trying to do that. But I think physical media, they realize they're going to always knock it out of the park, especially as everybody else leaves the physical media.
See, I think, and I don't want to go on too long. I don't know. Maybe you'll end up splitting this into two episodes or something. But my radical theory is keep this Switch. You keep the cartridge slot, but the new games are all downloadable, and you keep this cartridge slot just for the old stuff, and then the new games are all down because the cartridge sizes hasn't ramped up. So if their resolution,
if they change the tech, they can do that.
I mean, if they go to like a SD card, right, which is more prone to being hackable anyway, and they're kind of flimsier, they're not as durable.
Right.
I mean, I don't see why. I know Nintendo likes to stand out and be different, but like you look at the success of the Steam Deck, which is a fully digital. I mean, they obviously have the support. Nintendo's never been great at keeping their online stores up and running.
Right.
But
that's the biggest problem. I think they'll shoot themselves in the foot if they go digital only because they're going to jump on the bandwagon. Microsoft is the first to do it. They're not doing physical media anymore. Sony is right around the corner.
They all are. I mean, look at
Yeah.
Alan Wake. Alan Wake was neither of those companies, right? So Alan Wake was developed by Remedy with Epic.
Right.
Produce
and they
distributing, right?
made that decision as a whole to not do it.
And that was it. And now you're going to start to see more. And on the Xbox, you see it more because if you have Game Pass, like I haven't put a game inside my Xbox
ever
in years, right?
I don't think I ever have.
Yeah, I have it.
I don't have it. I don't have any Xbox X or One games. Everything I
might have like Cyberpunk from when they put it to like $5.
Yeah.
And now it's a great value that the game has actually gotten much better. But yeah, and I have the S in my office here, and I don't miss it. I don't go, damn, I want to come in here and pop a disc in.
Right. True. It's a shame, but we're in a world where everything's changing, and we're not necessarily all for it. You know what I mean? But we have to adapt. I think the idea of having the physical media as an option is always important. I'll leave one last thing. I was a guest on a friend of mine's show, Proven Gamer. The host, Tricky Mike, we were talking about physical media, and I was talking about my cassette collection and Gunship, and how musicians adopt the Bandcamp mentality of if you do a pre-order for something physical, vinyl, which Paul, you're into vinyl, I'm into cassettes. They give you the option of you pre-order it, you get a digital, and you get the physical. I don't think the game companies want to go that route.
No.
But I think if somebody, like if one person had the ability to do that and like give that option, even if the license is temporary, that means you don't have to raise the price too much. But
that's the problem.
Caveat, it's the physical caveat.
It's
because talking about taking the disc out and then returning the game.
Right. And that's what it is, or giving it to you. Oh, well, I'll buy it. I'll get the digital. You get the physical. We'll split it, and then there's one less sale for them. And if 10 people do that, that's 5 less sales.
Right. I mean, there's strategic ways to do it. I don't get paid to make those decisions, but there are ways to do it. Like I was talking about having the trade-in value like equate to next to nothing on a game that comes with that license.
All they need to do really is, I mean, it's probably, I don't like to see it. It's probably going to happen though. Is GameStop will probably go under. Nowhere else.
That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah,
that's what they're trying to do.
But then you have eBay and you have Macari and other places.
It's going to become the third person market regardless.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is as the physical becomes scarcer and scarcer, the demand is going to go up. We know it. We've seen it. And the media is going to get more expensive, and then they're going to just come right back to it anyway. they're gonna be like, oh, maybe we should do it, you know. And then you're gonna have companies like Limited Run that are gonna be at the top of the world because
Yeah.
that demand is gonna be there for that. But we'll leave it at that.
Like you mentioned, you want physical. The
Yeah, you can always
Evercade.
go Evercade.
The
Yeah,
Evercade.
this guy's a big advocate for the Evercade.
I am. This whole shelf back here is Evercade games. Behind the goodies, you get a actual
Cartridge.
instruction manual and a cartridge. Look at that with a clamshell case.
Does any of them have Booger Man on it?
Yes, this one has Booger Man on it.
I thought I saw it, and that's why I had to say it.
Booger!
Booger! Booger! I have to buy it now.
And they have so many different ways you can play them now. I have a actual console for the television, handheld, multiple versions. And they all work with it. And the games are only $20. And it's multiple games on a cartridge, obviously. They make I think it's a great value.
You sure about that?
And you get something physical.
Yeah. And the console's pretty cool. Like, I mean, I've seen it. It looks pretty
much
durable.
just emulation still, but you're getting,
but you're getting physical, tangible items, which is great.
Right. And you can
Physical
play
media,
with
ladies and gentlemen.
to the internet.
Physical. Always for the win. So we'll leave you with that. Paul, thank you for joining me today. This is a nice, great conversation. Love to have you on as much as you'd like. Don't want to burn you out because we still got toys to talk about.
I don't know about the Paul, but I kick a Bowser's ass. It was a very good show. Get ready to buy a Switch 2 and get a Super Mario Wonder remaster. We pay for it again. We charge you $70 and you buy again. Okay?
It's going to be Zelda. It's not going to be
Mario.
We
do Zelda too. Don't worry. We do a lot of them. We make a lot of money. Okay? Miyamoto needs it, and Universal make a new Super Nintendo World in Orlando, Florida.
We'll leave you with that, ladies and gentlemen.
Mamma mia.
Take care and have fun, everybody. Yatta!